What if I told you that The Chosen Season 6 hides something no one was ever supposed to see? Something that could change the entire story we thought we knew. Behind every miracle, every word, and every tear, there's a secret waiting to be revealed. Fans around the world are about to face the most emotional, most shocking season yet, and what's coming might just leave you speechless. Because Season 6 doesn't just tell a story, it rewrites everything we believed about The Chosen. Pause for dramatic music. Get ready, we're diving into the first secret, the return of a character no one expected. When Season 5 ended, millions of fans were left in silence. The final scene showed the disciples scattered, confused, and afraid. Jesus had walked a path that was growing darker with every step, and the future looked uncertain. But hidden in the shadows of that ending was a clue, one that hinted at a return that could change everything. Sources close to the production have whispered about a character many believed was gone for good. Someone whose absence left an emotional gap in both the disciples' hearts and the audience's. For months, fans have begged for answers, and now we finally know. Season 6 will bring back a familiar face, but not in the way you expect. This character's return isn't about comfort or closure. It's about chaos. Their presence will divide the group, test loyalties, and reveal truths that were buried since the earliest episodes. The writers of The Chosen have carefully built up to this moment. Every small detail, every offhand comment, every moment of silence in past seasons now points toward this shocking comeback. But what makes it even more powerful is why this return happens. The creators wanted to explore what forgiveness truly means, not just as a word, but as a battle between faith and emotion. Imagine a moment where love collides with betrayal, where mercy meets memory. That's where this character stands, right at the edge of both redemption and revenge. Behind the scenes, even the cast had strong reactions. Some couldn't believe the decision. Others said it was the most emotional storyline they've ever performed. One actor described it as a turning point for the entire series, the moment everything changes. But who is it? The producers haven't said the name outright. But the clues are there in the trailer, in the script hints, and in the reactions of those who've seen early cuts. Some fans think it's Judas, returning in a haunting vision. Others believe it's an old disciple who lost their way. Whoever it is, their return promises to shake the foundation of every relationship on screen, as one of the writers teased. Sometimes the people you thought were gone forever are the ones who change your destiny the most. Pause, fade in dramatic sound, and that's only the beginning. Because in the next part, we'll uncover something even more mysterious. A secret message hidden inside the script itself. A message that connects the story of The Chosen to something much deeper than anyone realized. There's something unusual about The Chosen. Something most people don't notice when they watch it for the first time. Every word, every silence, every glance feels like it carries a secret meaning. And in Season 6, that feeling isn't an accident, because hidden between the lines of the script lies a message. When the writers sat down to create Season 6, they didn't just write another chapter of faith. They built a puzzle, a story within a story. Every episode, every verse, connects to something deeper, something ancient, something spiritual, according to people close to the production. The script is full of clues that point toward one unspoken theme: sacrifice. But it's not the kind of sacrifice we expect. It's not about what is lost. It's about what must be chosen. The writers used subtle patterns, repeated words, familiar scenes, even lighting to foreshadow events that haven't happened yet. A cup left unfinished on a table. A shadow that falls the same way it did seasons ago. These tiny, subtly missed details carry meaning that connects the disciples. Present to their destiny, fans who've studied the scripts notice something shocking. Some of the dialogue lines in Season 6 mirror phrases from the Bible, specifically from the final days of Jesus' life. The writers didn't just quote scripture. They wove it into normal conversation, so it hides in plain sight. One of the creators even hinted at this in an interview, saying, "If you read the words carefully, you'll see the future written between them." It's as if Season 6 isn't just showing us the story of faith. It's quietly preparing us for heartbreak, Some believe these secret messages were meant to help the audience feel what the disciples felt: confusion, fear, hope, and love all at once. Others think they were hidden as a form of respect, a way to honor the sacred story without revealing too much too soon. Whatever the truth is, this isn't just clever writing. It's emotional architecture. Every line is placed exactly where it needs to be to make the moment of realization hit like a revelation. Imagine watching an episode and realizing that something you saw 3 seasons ago suddenly makes sense. That the story was whispering the truth to you all along, you just didn't know how to listen. That's what makes Chosen Season 6 so powerful. It's not only telling a story about faith, it's making us feel faith uncertain, emotional, and real. Pause, gentle, mysterious music fades in, but this hidden message is only one part of the mystery. Because what was happening behind the camera was even more dramatic than what we'll see on screen. And in the next section, we'll uncover the real-life tensions and emotional battles that shook the cast and crew of The Chosen during the making of Season 6. Every story has 2 sides, the one we see on screen and the one that happens in the shadows. While The Chosen Season 6 promises emotion, miracles, and faith, behind the camera, a very different story was unfolding. What most fans don't know is that filming this season wasn't easy. In fact, some say it was the hardest season ever made. Long nights, emotional scenes, and creative disagreements pushed everyone, cast and crew, to their limits. The set that once felt peaceful became a storm of emotions. Sources close to the production described moments where even the strongest members of the team broke down. The emotional weight of the story wasn't just acting anymore, it was real. Imagine playing a scene about heartbreak or betrayal, then stepping off set only to feel the same tension among your co-stars. That's what happened during the making of Season 6. There were whispers of disagreements over how certain scenes should be portrayed, especially those involving Jesus and the disciples during their most painful moments. Some believed the tone should stay hopeful, others wanted it raw and tragic. The director reportedly said, "Truth doesn't always come with comfort." And he was right. The crew faced extreme weather, scheduling issues, and even health scares. One insider revealed that shooting had to pause several times because the emotional weight of certain scenes overwhelmed the cast. Some moments were so powerful that actors stayed silent for hours after filming, not out of exhaustion, but out of reverence. But it wasn't all conflict. In those struggles, something beautiful happened. The team grew closer. Cast members began supporting each other through every breakdown and every tear. They shared prayers before intense scenes and held hands before takes that everyone knew would be unforgettable. It's said that one of the most emotional sequences of the entire series was shot during a thunderstorm. Real rain, real lightning, and real emotion. The director chose not to stop filming. He said, "Let nature do the acting." That moment, born from chaos, became one of the most breathtaking visuals in The Chosen history. And maybe that's what makes Season 6 so different. It wasn't just filmed, it was felt. Every drop of rain, every breath of the actors, every crack in their voices carries the weight of what happened behind the camera. Soft fade-in of somber music. So when you watch Season 6, remember the tears you see aren't only part of the story. They're real. Because the people behind The Chosen weren't just telling a story of faith, they were living it. But as the storm settled, something even more surprising began to take shape. A new direction for the story itself. And in the next section, we'll reveal the twist that changes everything. The unexpected plot direction that no one saw coming. Every season of The Chosen has carried a message. Hope, faith, love, forgiveness. But Season 6 is different. This time, the story isn't only about following Jesus. It's about what happens when following him leads you into darkness. From the very first episode, you can feel something has shifted. The tone is heavier, the silence feels louder, the smiles fade faster. Every character seems to be standing at a crossroads. Faith on one side, fear on the other. The writers call this the breaking season, because every disciple will face a moment where belief alone isn't enough. This isn't the kind of plot twist that jumps out suddenly. It grows slowly. Like a storm forming on the horizon, every choice, every decision builds toward one heartbreaking question. What happens when God's plan no longer feels fair? For the first time, The Chosen dares to show the side of faith that many people hide. Doubt. Thomas begins to question his purpose. Peter faces guilt that eats away at him. Mary struggles with silence, feeling distant from the peace she once knew. Even Jesus, calm and collected, carries a quiet sadness that no one around him fully understands. The plot of Season 6 doesn't just move forward, it turns inward. The battles are no longer fought on fields or between enemies. They happen in hearts. According to one insider, the goal was to strip away the light just long enough for viewers to understand what true faith feels like when you can't see the way, but still keep walking. It's emotional, it's painful, and it's real. The twist isn't about death or betrayal this time. It's about transformation. Every disciple who began this journey with confidence will be tested in ways they never imagined. And when they break, that's when they finally understand what grace really means. There's one particular scene that fans won't be ready for a quiet, tear-filled conversation between two disciples that changes the entire meaning of the story. The writers described it as the moment where the world of The Chosen grows up. Even the soundtrack reflects this new tone, darker, slower, more reflective. The light in the scenes is dimmer. The camera lingers longer, forcing viewers to feel the weight of silence. It's not about showing miracles anymore. It's about surviving the waiting. Pause. Emotional music fades in slowly. Season 6 dares to ask the question few stories of faith ever do. What if believing hurts? And that's what makes this season unforgettable. Because it doesn't just tell us about faith. It tests ours. But while the story itself takes this bold new path, the fans have their own theories. Some right, some wildly wrong. In the next part, we'll dive into the fan theories that shook the internet and reveal which ones might actually be true. Before The Chosen Season 6 even aired, the internet was already on fire. Reddit threads exploded. YouTube channels broke down every frame of the trailer, and fan groups filled with questions, predictions, and bold claims took over the conversation. But here's the thing, some of those theories weren't just guesses. Some of them were closer to the truth than anyone realized. Let's start with the wildest one. A popular fan theory suggests that Season 6 will open with a dream, not a real event, but a symbolic vision showing the future. Fans believe one of the disciples will see the crucifixion long before it happens. The idea shocked everyone, until an early teaser showed a faint image of a shadowed cross in the distance. Was that a clue? Or a coincidence? The creators stayed silent. Then there's the Judas theory. Some fans claim Judas will return not as a living man, but as a haunting presence, a vision or a voice echoing in the disciples' minds. Others say his story isn't over, that Season 6 will explore the unseen moments of his regret. One post that went viral read, "If forgiveness is truly divine, then even Judas deserves a moment of grace." It's a chilling idea, and it might not be far from the truth. Another theory that caught fire was the hidden gospel code. Fans noticed that certain episode titles and character lines in the trailer seemed to form a secret pattern. When placed together, the first letters of each spell out a word. Some claim it's promise, others believe it's deliverance, whether planned or accidental. Fans are convinced it's a message from the creators, a hint about where the story is heading, but not every theory holds up. The rumor about a surprise death in Episode 3? False. The idea that Jesus would appear less this season? Also false. However, one fan prediction turned out surprisingly accurate, the theme of silence. Several viewers believed that Season 6 would focus more on emotional stillness, letting the audience feel distance and doubt rather than dialogue. And when early reviews started coming in, that theory proved true. What makes these theories so fascinating isn't just whether they're right or wrong. It's how deeply fans have connected to this story. People aren't just watching The Chosen anymore, they're decoding it, feeling it, and trying to find meaning in every frame. It's not just a show to them, it's a living message. The creators of The Chosen have said very little publicly. One of them simply posted, "You'll know soon enough." That one sentence sent fans spiraling into hundreds of new speculations overnight. Pause. Build gentle suspense music. Wow. And maybe that's the beauty of The Chosen. It's not just about answers. It's about the search. But the biggest secret of all isn't in fan theories. It's in what's coming next. Because as Season 6 unfolds, something larger begins to form, a path leading straight to the final season. And in the next section, we'll uncover how all these secrets lead to one powerful truth, the beginning of the final journey. Every story has a heartbeat. And in The Chosen Season 6, that heartbeat begins to slow. Not because the story is dying, but because it's preparing for something sacred, the beginning of the end. From the first scene, you can feel it. A stillness, a sense that time is running short. The disciples don't say it out loud, but their eyes do. Every smile feels borrowed. Every laugh feels like a memory trying to stay. Alive before the silence takes over, this season carries a weight that's different from anything we've seen before. It's not about miracles anymore. It's about meaning. The roads are dustier, the night's quieter, and the faces older. You can sense that the journey is reaching a place no one is ready for, not even the audience, insiders say. The show's writers designed Season 6 as a bridge, a slow walk toward something inevitable. The world around Jesus is growing darker, not with evil alone, but with realization. Every prophecy, every whisper, every glance now carries the same echo. It's coming. One of the most powerful changes this season is in tone. The light that once filled every episode now flickers, sometimes warm, sometimes cold. The camera lingers longer on empty spaces, on silence, on shadows. Even the music feels like it's holding its breath. There's a haunting beauty in this, because for the first time, The Chosen isn't just showing faith as a journey, it's showing it as a sacrifice. The disciples begin to understand what following Jesus truly means. Not power, not safety, not fame, but loss. Real human loss. And yet somehow, peace. One insider described the final episodes of this season as the quiet before the thunder. That's exactly what it feels like, a calm so heavy. You can sense a storm waiting on the other side. Every scene is painted with foreshadowing. A moment of laughter that feels like goodbye. A sunset that lingers too long. Even the footsteps sound slower, as if the earth itself knows what's about to happen. But what truly makes this season unforgettable isn't tragedy, it's tenderness. Amid the fear and the doubt, there are still moments of love so gentle they almost hurt to watch. Small smiles, shared prayers, hands reaching out in faith. Knowing the end is near but choosing to believe anyway, soft emotional music begins to swell. This is where The Chosen transforms from a series into a legacy. Because the end isn't a finish, it's a fulfillment. Every step Jesus takes in Season 6 leads to the story that changed the world forever. But before that story unfolds, there's one more truth to reveal, one final secret that explains why The Chosen continues to move millions around the globe. And in the next section, we'll uncover that truth, the real reason this series has become a global phenomenon, and what it truly means for those who believe. When the lights fade and the final scene of Season 6 ends, something strange happens. You sit there in silence, not because the story is over, but because it feels like it's still speaking. That's the power of The Chosen. It doesn't shout its message, it whispers it into your heart. From the beginning, this series was never just about retelling history. It was about reminding us why the story still matters. Every line, every tear, every moment of silence has been building to one truth, that faith is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Behind the cameras, the actors live through exhaustion, emotion, and doubt. On screen, the disciples face the same. And that's what makes The Chosen real. It mirrors the struggle inside all of us. The battle to keep believing when nothing makes sense. Season 6 captures that perfectly. It shows us that faith isn't found in miracles, but in moments, the quiet ones, when you still choose to trust. It teaches that even when you can't see the ending, the story still has meaning. Fans around the world have felt it. Some say The Chosen changed their lives. Others say it made them believe again. Not because it's a show about religion, but because it's about people, ordinary, flawed. Frightened people who find light in the darkest places. And maybe that's the final revelation. The real miracle of The Chosen isn't on screen. It's in us. It's the way we watch, the way we cry, the way we see a piece of our own lives in their struggles as season 6 ends. We're left standing in that sacred space between sorrow and hope, where endings feel like beginnings, and silence feels like prayer. The creators have promised that season 7 will bring the story full circle. But after everything we've seen, the hidden messages, the pain behind the scenes, the twist of faith, and the fan theories that nearly got it right, one thing is clear. The Chosen is no longer just a series. It's a movement.